Let me ask you something real. What happens when strong leadership ends? Rules still exist. Freedom is already given. But no one wants responsibility anymore. That's where the book of Judges begins. And that's why it feels chaotic. Judges starts with a sentence that should worry you. There was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in their own eyes. That's not freedom. That's drift. Joshua is gone. The generation that saw miracles is fading. The land is settled. The enemy is mostly defeated. And still, everything starts falling apart. Judges teaches something brutal. Victory does not guarantee stability. Success does not guarantee wisdom. The people don't reject God openly. They slowly mix values. A little compromise, a little tolerance, a little convenience. They keep faith, but remove obedience. Judges shows a repeating pattern. Over and over. People forget. People drift. Oppression rises. People cry out. A judge appears. Relief comes. And then they forget again. That cycle is the book. The judges are not kings. They are temporary rescuers. And they are deeply flawed. That's intentional. Othniel is strong but forgettable. Ehud is clever and violent. Deborah is wise and steady. Gideon is fearful and unsure. Jephthah is reckless and tragic. Samson is powerful and self-destructive. These are not role models. They are warnings. Judges refuses to give clean heroes. Because the real problem isn't leadership quality. It's spiritual instability. Take Gideon. He doubts constantly, asks for signs, gets reassurance, then later builds an idol. Fear doesn't disappear with success. Sometimes it grows. Jephthah makes a foolish vow, not because God demanded it, because insecurity demands drama, and someone innocent pays the price. Judges doesn't soften this story, because real damage isn't poetic. Then there's Samson, the strongest man in the Bible, and one of the weakest internally. Gifted, impulsive, undisciplined. He confuses strength with wisdom, and slowly destroys himself. Samson's story proves something painful. God can work through you without approving of how you live. That should terrify people. Judges keeps getting darker. Stories become more violent, more disturbing, more chaotic. Because when moral boundaries disappear, so does restraint. By the end of the book, there is no judge left. No leader. No direction. Only survival. Judges ends with civil war. Brother against brother. Not because of enemies. Because of internal collapse. This book is not trying to shock you. It's trying to wake you up. Judges explains why societies collapse even when they have history, values, and freedom. Because memory fades. Commitment weakens. Comfort replaces conviction. One of the most dangerous ideas in Judges is this. Partial obedience feels safe, but it creates long-term instability. The people didn't destroy everything they were told to. They kept some enemies close, some habits alive, some compromises hidden. Those compromises grew. Judges teaches that cycles repeat until something changes deeply, not superficially. This book is deeply psychological. People don't rebel suddenly. They drift. They normalize dysfunction. They adapt to chaos. And God's response is not abandonment. It's restraint. He lets consequences teach what commands couldn't. Judges is painful because it feels familiar. People want rescue, not transformation. Relief, not responsibility. This book matters today because people confuse freedom with self-definition. People want benefits without boundaries. People repeat mistakes and blame systems. Judges says, the problem is not the absence of leaders. It's the absence of internal authority. When everyone becomes their own judge, justice disappears. If Joshua is about courage to move forward, Judges is about what happens when courage is replaced by comfort. It's not an atheist book. It's a warning to believers. Judges doesn't end with hope. It ends with honesty. And sometimes honesty is the first mercy. Because until people admit the cycle, they stay trapped inside it. If you've ever felt like, why does this keep happening again? We already learned this lesson. How do we end up here? Judges understands you. It doesn't offer easy solutions. It exposes patterns. And exposure is painful, but necessary. The book of Judges is not meant to inspire you. It's meant to disturb you enough to change. Freedom without direction becomes chaos. Strength without discipline becomes destruction. Faith without obedience becomes noise. That's Judges. Uncomfortable, dark, necessary.